It's a small wedding. There's not enough space for you, Mom texted. Then I saw 147 guests arrived. All 7 of my siblings, their families, in-laws, even the mailman with a +1. Hours later, she sent me an $8,500 invoice for the family gift. I didn't say a word. I took action instead. 9 hours later, security removed the bride from the honeymoon flight. And that was just the start. It's a small wedding. There's not enough space for you, Mom texted. I stared at the screen for a long time. No emojis. No exclamation marks. Just cold, surgical words that landed like a slap across the face. The wedding. My sister Emery's wedding. The same sister I loaned $20,000 to last year when she maxed out her credit cards because of an emergency. The same sister who moved back in with my parents after getting dumped for cheating, though my parents never called it that. They called it bad luck. And now, apparently, there wasn't room for me at the wedding. I didn't reply. What could I say that wouldn't come off as pathetic? I just closed my phone, placed it face down on the kitchen table, and sat there, feeling that familiar pit open inside my stomach, the one they'd dug for years. But then came the real punch. Hours later, curiosity got the better of me. I checked Emery's Instagram stories. A sweeping video of the wedding venue filled my screen. White silk tents, long tables, a live band tuning their instruments. People laughing. Champagne flutes clinking. The caption read, "The entire family together to celebrate our special day." I swiped to the next story. There they were, Mom, Dad, Emery, her fiancé Jason, my 7 siblings with their spouses and kids. Even Aunt Martha's new boyfriend made it. Uncle Dave, Cousin Kyle, who hadn't spoken to anyone in 5 years. Wow, even the mailman was there, with a +1. 147 guests. But not me. I should have felt rage, but I didn't. Not yet. What I felt was worse, numbness. The kind that creeps into your bones after years of being the family's emotional ATM, the free babysitter, the crisis manager. The kind of numbness you develop when you've been the backup plan for so long you forget what it's like to be anyone's first choice. Then, as if that wasn't enough, the next blow landed just past midnight. Bing. A text from Mom again. "Since you couldn't make it to the wedding, we split your share of the family gift. It came to $8,500. Please send by Friday so we can close the group invoice." That was it. No, how are you? No, thank you. Just a bill. Like I was a vendor, not her son. I didn't respond. Not because I had nothing to say, but because words wouldn't fix this. Words never did with them. Instead, I started planning. 9 hours later, when airport security dragged Emery off the honeymoon flight screaming, that was only the beginning. They always said I was the dependable one. Not smart, that was Rachel. Not charming, that was Daniel. But dependable, quiet, steady. The one who'd pick up the pieces, pay the bill, drive across state lines at midnight because someone forgot their passport. The one who doesn't make a fuss. I used to think that was love. I really did. When I got my first full-time job, I gave Mom access to one of my cards. Just in case. When Daniel's startup failed, I covered 3 months of his rent. When Rachel's oldest got into that overpriced private school, I offered to help with the deposit before anyone asked. They never really thanked me. Not properly. But they always acted surprised when I said yes. Like it confirmed something about me they already believed. I was useful. In the group chat, I was logistics. Flights, bookings, hotel blocks, gifts me. No one said thank you, but they never had to. I trained them not to. It got worse after Dad's second surgery. Suddenly, I wasn't just the planner, I was the backup bank. Rachel called it support. Daniel said family takes care of family. But none of them ever sent me a dime. Last summer, when Mom wanted a new deck built, she called me from Lowe's and read out the cost. No lead up. No small talk. Just, it's $9,850. Can you wire it now or tomorrow? I said nothing. Just logged in, sent it, closed the app. That's who I was. Until the wedding. That was the first time I hesitated. I asked, casually, if I'd be expected to help with anything. Mom said, No, it's small. You've done enough. I should have heard it then. 2 weeks later, I helped Rachel's husband co-sign a short-term loan. He said it was for their car, but it showed up on his Instagram as a drone and 2 VIP tickets to a game I wasn't invited to. I didn't say anything. I got used to being left out. There was the Christmas trip to Tahoe, the beach house last spring. Even the group chat was renamed Core Fam Only, without me. And still, I kept showing up because I thought, maybe, if I just keep giving, eventually I'll be seen. But then the wedding. No invitation. No phone call. Just a text. It's a small wedding. Not enough space for you. And then, hours later, the invoice. $8,500. My share of the family gift. Split between people who didn't even think I deserved a chair. It wasn't about the money. Not anymore. It was the fact that they knew I would see the photos. That they didn't care. That they counted on me staying quiet. And I almost did. I sat with it for a full day. No calls. No texts. No scenes. Just a spreadsheet open on my laptop and a list of every wedding expense tied to my name. Because that's what they didn't realize. They didn't just cut me out. They used me. 3 months earlier, Mom asked to borrow my Amex to book some catering samples. She never returned it. And now, the tux rentals, the open bar, the live band, even the custom ice sculpture with the bride and groom's initials were on me. Over $11,000 in charges. All processed in the past 3 weeks. All under my account. I checked the registry, every big item marked, gifted by, family. They hadn't even bothered to list names. Just, from all of us. That was the moment. Not the exclusion. Not the lie. The assumption. That I would fund it, watch from a distance, and say nothing. That I would smile through it, again. I closed the tab. Logged into the airline system. Typed her name. Boarding. For 40 p.m. Flight to Aruba. Booked under a corporate travel account I created years ago for convenience. 1 phone call. 2 codes. Verification complete. The system paused. Do you wish to revoke access to this ticket? Yes. Then I opened my Notes app and typed 2 words. Enjoy silence. Because they weren't just losing a donor. They were losing me. I didn't go to the wedding. I didn't send a gift, or a text, or a note. Instead, I made coffee, sat on the edge of my bed, and started the process. The card my mother used for the wedding was still tied to my business account. It was supposed to be for emergencies. She knew that. I reminded her twice. I logged in, opened the charge history, and flagged every transaction. $1,800 for the florist. $2,400 for the string quartet. $3,100 for the open bar. Even $86 for a groom squad sunglasses order. All under my name. None with my consent. Each one marked unauthorized. Then I opened the corporate travel portal. The honeymoon tickets were booked using my work account. Aruba. Business class. Early boarding. Luggage tags with gold trim. I clicked Manage Booking. Enter the last name. The confirmation code. The seat selection. Everything matched. Everything mine. I called the airline. Spoke to a rep. Gave them the full list, flight numbers, booking details, email trail. Told them I never approved this trip. That the tickets were booked without consent. That I wanted them revoked. She asked, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." Then, please flagged every transaction. She said, "Okay. We'll notify airport security." The call took 11 minutes. I didn't raise my voice once. At 3:42 p.m., I left the apartment. Wallet, keys, jacket. That's it. No phone. I took the train east. 2 hours. No destination. Just wanted somewhere quiet. By the time I stepped off, the sky had already started to gray. I found a beach. Bought a sandwich from a kiosk. Sat down on a bench facing the water. I didn't check the time. I just watched. At 4:41 p.m., my phone, which I'd silenced hours before, buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. Then again. Again. I let it hum against my leg until it stopped. When I finally checked it, the screen was glowing. 19 missed calls. 5 voicemails. Over 40 new texts. First one. What did you do? Then. They pulled her out of the line at the gate. We're at the airport. They're saying fraud. Then. Fix it. Now. I didn't respond. The voicemails came next. Mom's voice. You don't know what you've done. This is your sister's wedding trip. Dad. You went too far. This is criminal. Rachel. If she misses the flight, it's on you. Then silence. I kept scrolling. The last message in the group thread was a photo. Her. The bride. Standing off to the side of the terminal, crying behind her veil. Not looking at the camera. I stared at the image for a long time. Not because it moved me, but because they'd sent it like proof of my guilt. Like pain was a currency I owed them. I powered the phone off. 2 hours later, I turned it back on. Another name lit up the screen, not one I expected. Lila. My niece. 14. Rachel's daughter. Quiet. Reads a lot. Barely speaks at family events. I saw the messages, she wrote. I don't know what happened, but if it matters, I would have saved you a seat. No emojis. No exclamation marks. Just that. I didn't reply. I just stared at the screen. And then, finally, I opened the group chat. Typed one message. This was never your gift to take. I hit send. Then I deleted the thread. Blocked every number in it. No theatrics. No speech. Just the quiet closing of a door. I moved out without leaving a note. The apartment still had my smell in the walls. I didn't take the rug. Didn't take the framed photo of the beach they all once loved. I just packed 2 boxes, locked the door, and slid the key under it. The train station was half empty. I picked a town I couldn't spell. Didn't check weather, amenities, rent prices. Only one thing mattered. No one would come looking. The flat was above a shuttered bakery. My window looked out on a loading dock. I slept on a borrowed mattress for the first week. A tea kettle on a hot plate. 1 spoon. 1 mug. It felt like exile. It felt like relief. I worked nights, warehouse shift. Logged cargo, unpacked crates. No one asked questions. No one said my name. The silence wasn't cold. It was just quiet. No calls came. Until the 3rd week. An unknown number. I don't know what happened. But you left, and I felt something shift. I've kept quiet all my life. But this, I can't. Can I come? It was Mark. The brother who always stood behind someone else. The one who smiled in photos but never made a sound. I replied. If not to explain, yes. He arrived by bus. 1 bag. No coat. It was raining. I let him in. He didn't look around, didn't comment on the empty room or the mattress on the floor. He just said, they're blaming each other. Mom says it's Rachel's fault. Rachel says it's yours. Daniel's pretending he wasn't there. No one's saying what matters. He took off his shoes. Sat on the floor. They say you humiliated us. But honestly, you gave me the map out. We didn't talk after that. He slept on a folded blanket. The rain hit the window hard that night. At one point, he got up to make tea and didn't ask where the sugar was. In the morning, he left a note. I think I'll disappear too. Thank you for showing how. A week later, he messaged. I told them I'm done. They screamed, threatened, then stopped. It's silent now. I didn't think silence could feel this warm. I didn't reply. I pinned the message. That was enough. That same evening, at work, I helped a woman stack heavy crates. Didn't think much of it. The next day, a note appeared in my locker. Handwritten, folded once. Yesterday you helped me lift that stack. I didn't ask. You just moved. Everyone else walked by. I haven't been seen like that in years. Thank you. No name. No hint. Just that. I kept the note in my wallet. That night I dreamed someone knocked on my door and handed me an envelope filled with nothing but air. I woke up still holding my fist closed. 2 days later, the past found a way in sideways. The landlord knocked. Said someone left a package for me in the hallway. No return address. Inside, a box of items. My old school ID. A family Christmas photo. A note in my mother's handwriting. Maybe one day you'll remember who you are. I burned the note in a dish on the stove. Watched the paper curl. Smelled the ink. Didn't touch the photo. That night I went for a walk. It was cold. The sky was empty. I stopped at the corner diner and ordered soup. The waitress looked at me and said, "You're new. You've got that look." I didn't ask what she meant, but she refilled my cup without charging. Back home, I opened the last box from my old life. Inside was a key, no tag. I couldn't remember what it opened, but I didn't throw it out. I placed it on the windowsill and left it there. Next morning, I took the box and left it beside the trash outside. Not in it, just beside. I didn't want it gone. I just didn't want it near me. Weeks passed. Mark messaged again. They think I've lost it. But I finally started sleeping through the night. I wish I had done it sooner. I read the message. Still didn't respond. But I started drinking coffee again. Not because I needed it, because it tasted like something slow. One afternoon, I passed someone from my old job. He didn't see me, but I watched him talk on the phone fast, anxious, pacing. And I realized, I used to move like that. I walked the long way home, stopped at the library, signed up for a card, took out a book on carpentry, just in case I wanted to build something. That night I dreamed I walked into my old house, and no one was there. Every room was empty except one. Mine. It had a mattress, a blanket, 1 chair. And it was enough. 6 months after the wedding, an envelope appeared in my mailbox. The paper was thin, pale blue. The handwriting slanted, slow, careful, almost unfamiliar. The return address was a rehabilitation center 2 cities away. I knew the name. She'd written it before, on birthday cards, on bills she forwarded to me without asking. The name on the back, your mother. I didn't open it. I left it on the kitchen table for 3 days, then moved it to the bottom drawer under tax documents. It's still there, still sealed. I didn't need to read it to know what it said. Guilt in cursive, regret with no accountability. That familiar rhythm of "you misunderstood, we were just trying, family means forgiveness." No, thank you. The news came in fragments. A cousin mentioned she'd fainted during service. Someone else said she'd been diagnosed late. One of the in-laws tried to gather funds for better care. No one volunteered to visit. Rachel? She hadn't spoken to her since January. The marriage ended quickly. For months after the wedding, the groom moved out. No public announcement, but people knew. She kept the wedding photo online longer than the marriage lasted. Someone told me she blamed Mom. Said it all fell apart because of that stupid flight, that cursed trip, that family debt. I wasn't surprised. That house was built on borrowed ceilings. Daniel tried to fix things. Of course he did. He created a new family group chat, called it Fresh Start. Posted old pictures, sent links to birthday reminders, offered to organize a dinner. 3 days later, no one responded. By the 5th day, he was removed. He sent me one message after that. "I think it's really broken this time." I didn't reply. The others faded. Some stayed close to Mom, still orbiting that dying son. Others dropped out completely, the kind of distance that doesn't announce itself. No fights, just absence. The annual barbecue? Gone. The Christmas lottery? Canceled. By the time spring came, no one was checking in on anyone. And the silence, once something I fought, started to feel like room to breathe. I walked more, drank my tea slower, left my windows open, bought second-hand books, filled margins with quiet thoughts. One Thursday afternoon, I received a message. "Lila, I finished school. Got into the college I dreamed of. I haven't visited since the wedding. I don't plan to. Just wanted to say thank you. You proved we can leave, that we're not wrong for doing it." I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed back, "I'm proud of you. You don't owe anyone your silence." It was the first message I sent that I didn't revise 10 times. The first I sent without wondering how it might be twisted. And it felt real. A week later, Mark sent a photo. No message. No emojis. Just an image. A wooden workbench. Light coming through a window. Tools arranged with care. A sign nailed to the wall. "Stillness built here." I looked at it for a long time. I didn't reply. But I printed it. Taped it inside the kitchen cabinet, just above the mugs. 2 shelves below sat the envelope from my mother. Still sealed. Still untouched. That contrast, image above, letter below, felt like a sentence finally punctuated. Another week passed. I got a knock on the door, a courier. He handed me a box. No return address. No label. Inside, a photo album. Torn at the edges. On the first page, a group picture from years ago. All of us. Younger. Smiling. I wasn't in the center. I never was. I was off to the side, half-shadowed, looking at something no one else saw. I closed it. Didn't throw it away. Just placed it under the bed. Like a page I'd read but wouldn't reread. Sometimes memories don't need endings. Just distance. That weekend, I took a train out of town. No reason. Just wanted to see something new. I brought a book, some tea in a thermos, and no phone charger. The train car was nearly empty. No one made eye contact. It felt like freedom. At a small station stop, I got out. Walked past an old bakery, down a street with no names, until I reached a bench facing a field. I sat there until dusk. Let the wind press against my shoulders. Let my thoughts pass like strangers. No wait. No echoes. When I returned home, the sky had changed. The air smelled different. Not fresh, just unfamiliar. It was enough. That night, I wrote one final thing. Not for anyone. Just for me. I was the one who left. And I did not return. Not to prove a point. Not to make them sorry. Just to be free. I folded the paper, placed it beside the envelope from my mother, and walked away. The past stayed in that drawer. I no longer dream of being heard. Now, I just live. And that, finally, is enough.